Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, this bill prohibits the enforcement of any red flag, or also known as extreme risk protection order laws that allow firearm seizure from law-abiding citizens without full adjudication in a contested court case, ensuring no preemptive confiscation occurs without the individual having a chance to contest the claims. In short, you're not going to lose your gun rights without due process. Those are my opening remarks.
Is there discussion? The chair recognizes the representative from Story, Representative Wilburn.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. I rise in opposition to this bill. I mean, we all frame issues as we see fit and believe, but there is due process. States that have red flag laws, it's all the circumstances we see about someone who's a harm to themselves or others. States that have successfully temporarily held a weapon from someone. They have a process. States have different processes in place for that person to demonstrate, to show that they are not a harm to themselves. In fact, we've even got some states where someone who runs a gun shop, where people will voluntarily, or a family member will voluntarily submit a weapon while someone seeks treatment, seeks evaluation. This is one of those circumstances where we need to balance rights as well as logistically, practically dangerous situations that happen. In our own state, in my own community in Ames, we've had circumstances where if a red flag law had been in place, it might have been that moment for that person to not only get help, the mental help that they need and are seeking, but that lives would be saved. And in some circumstances, that individual's life who might be suicidal or depressed or angry, their life might be saved. I've lived in Story County. We've had incidents there. I lived in Johnson County where I can, and many people can all too often think of some circumstances. I'm not going to name the specific circumstance or name of the individual. I don't want to bring any traumatic feelings up for some families, some that I worked with, but others that were situations where one parent killed their family and then killed themselves. And we need to ask ourselves, would the temporary inconvenience of a short-term withholding of a gun, a weapon, be worth the price of the lives that we could save? And so I believe there's also a penalty. I don't remember if it's to an individual law enforcement officer or to their city or county, whatever the jurisdiction might be, if they enforce a red flag law, in other words, saving lives like law enforcement does, then we're going to, this bill would penalize them for saving a life and saving communities and families from the trauma that happens. Another piece to it, for a lot of circumstances, we've heard legislators go back and forth about whether federal law should be observed, recognized, acknowledged, or shall not be enforced. And here is one where it's saying as I recall the last reading of it, if the federal government were to come to that agreement that a temporary withholding of a weapon by an individual with due process would be worth it for our country to not have to suffer the trauma, and individuals and individual communities suffer the trauma of someone taking their life or taking the lives of others. So it's not being soft on crime. It's not a violation of constitutional rights. Other states have these, and again, we have that tremendous responsibility and opportunity to weigh all of the constitutional rights that we have, not just one particular right. And then we have to think about, how does this work in our communities and our streets? I ask and now and yield the rest of my time.
Seeing no further discussion, the chair recognizes Representative from Sioux for closing comments on House File 2718.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I think taking somebody's gun rights without true due process is more than just a temporary inconvenience. I think that's a very dangerous road to go down, and I think in our state we've made it very clear this is not something we're interested in doing. If you're going to take somebody's gun rights, you have to go through due process. With that, Mr. Speaker, I move the bill.
The representative from Sioux moves House File 2718 be read for the last time and placed on its passage. Are there objections?